Welcome, welcome, welcome to Ignite After Dark. Well, let's dive in and kick things off. Hello and welcome to Ignite After Dark. My name is Alana Huber-Katz. I am the Director of Coaching and Business Development at Keller Williams Legacy in Towson, Maryland. We are, for those of you just joining, we are kicking off Ignite, first session tonight. We will talk about what Ignite means, what it means for your business, activities. But I always find it helpful to kind of know who you're talking to, like a little soapbox moment. So started in real estate in 2015. I actually started as what's called an inside sales associate. So lead gen machine. I had a headset on, dialed phones for 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. So for those of you who are like, oh my God, I can't make 2 calls in a day, we're going to talk. Don't worry, we'll get you past that. And averaged about 8 to 10 appointments a week. Moved into being an agent shortly after. Got pulled out of being an agent pretty quickly to join the support side, leadership side, whatever you want to call the side of Keller Williams, in multiple hats. Been a coach now since 2017. Wow, my God, time really flies. So I coach here at Keller Williams Legacy as well as nationwide for Keller Williams International. And I'm excited. By the way, little thing you need to know about me is I absolutely love the first night of Ignite. Every night there's 12 sessions. You're going to have a different face, a different voice, a different instructor, which is great. So you're not hearing me for 12 sessions. I would not even want that. But you're going to hear us from so many different experiences and so many different experience levels and so many different perspectives, right? I always choose the first night to lay the groundwork, lay the foundation. Right. So for those of you just joining, again, one last thing, if you can put your cameras on, that would be fantastic. If you can put in the chat box where you are, I see, oh my God, I'm seeing all these people from, hey, Crystal. I'm seeing all these people from all over. This is wonderful. So I'm going to ask a question. We're going to kick it off with a little participation, meaning somebody come off of mute. Why do you think I'm asking you to put where you're located in Maryland in the chat box? Let's take a guess. By the way, total safety zone. We're getting to know each other over the next 12 weeks. You're all gonna, be able to help each other out, work together. We're in it together. We're growing together. So there's no wrong answers in anything we do.
I'll start it off by saying referrals.
Yes. Wait, who just said that?
Connor.
Hey, Connor, you are 100% correct, right? So, well, if you are licensed in the state, I know we have Maryland on here. We got some DC. I believe we have some New Jersey, some Virginia. We got people from all over. If you are licensed in the state of Maryland, right? And so I'm in Towson, Maryland. If all of a sudden I find a buyer who wants to buy a house in Eastern Maryland across Bay Bridge, do you think it's the best use of my time to drive to help a buyer see all these houses across Bay Bridge? Don't get me wrong. If it's a $3 million house, you better believe I'm getting in my car and I'm driving. Okay. Let's just say that right now. But if they're looking for anything, even if it's $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, who should I refer that to?
Me.
I was so waiting for somebody on this call to be like, I'm in that area. Right. You refer it to somebody, you get to know people around your whole, we're not just going to build relationships in Maryland. Or in the nation, we need to build them locally as well. Because that's probably not the best use of time for me to drive across the Bay Bridge, not to mention I don't like Bay Bridge, to help that buyer. But I can refer to someone who knows that area, who is excellent in that area, who's from that area, right? Who has way more knowledge than I do in that area. And then when it closes, I get a nice little check for handing you a name and number, right? So yes, that is absolutely correct. The reason I'm having everybody put their names and numbers or names and where you're located is not just to get to know each other, but to start looking at that and taking note over the next 12 sessions, right? Because this class the Ignite is 12 sessions, taking note of 12 sessions of where people are for referrals. All right. Let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen. Give me just a second here as I do that. While I'm sharing my screen, I want to ask another question. So all of you, here's the thing. It's 6 o'clock at night. Many of you have just come off a busy day. I've been in the office since 8 a.m. this morning. Okay. So many of us have just come off a busy day. Some of you are what we call dual careers. So you had another job or you got kids, you got things going on in life, and you made a business choice. You made a choice. Nobody's making you. You made a choice for your real estate business to tune in tonight. Thank you, by the way. Right. And pat yourself on the back. Okay. Because there's, by the way, hundreds of other agents who also joined probably around the same time you did who are not joining tonight. By the way, who's going to outproduce who? Who's going to get the most of the business? Hope you're raising your hands. For those of you off camera right now, just a little Zoom note. On the very bottom of Zoom, there's a button called reactions. In reactions, you got a little thumbs up. You can heart things. You can be like, oh my God, right? So also, if you can't take your cameras off, you can use those reactions. It just makes Zoom and especially classes at night a little more engaging, not just for the instructor, but for everybody. So, oh my God, I love the thumbs up. Hello, hello. All right. So let me ask somebody on here. I'm going to look for one. By the way, I try my hardest not to call on people. So if you're sitting there like, oh my God, stage fright, I hope she doesn't call on me. I really, really do try my hardest not to call on people because I understand people's fear of speaking in public. I totally get that. That actually used to be me for many years. So I'm going to ask for a volunteer. Now, if I sit here and ask for a volunteer and nobody says anything, I will totally sit here silent. Just like I will just stare at the screen, just waiting. Okay, I'm just gonna look at all of you uncomfortably. Okay. Can I ask for somebody to share what are you hoping to get out of not just tonight, but just what you know about Ignite? Oh, is that a hand raise? Is that Melanie?
Yes, hi.
Hello. Melanie, where are you located?
I'm located in Bethesda. I just transferred 2 weeks ago from Long and Foster. So
well, officially welcome.
Yeah. So what I'm looking to get out of Ignite class, I want to ignite my business. I want to start marketing and sowing seed now so I can hit the ground running in 2023. I feel like I'm behind when I start doing marketing and prospecting after the new year. So I want to get a head start now. And so I'm hoping to get a lot of information and see where my business goes.
I love it. Get information, see where your business goes. And if I heard you correctly, really kick off 2023 with a bang. Sounds like you want some closings to kick off the new year with.
Absolutely. Or before, but yeah.
Absolutely love that. Thank you for sharing. So we host Ignite. Ignite runs every quarter, by the way. We have many agents, and I see some names on here right now who take it every quarter. Why do you think agents take this every quarter? Any guesses?
Keep them motivated.
Yes. Who said that?
Matt Biscotti.
Matt, absolutely. To keep them motivated, right? When you get into real estate, now I know on here, because I recognize some names, we have a multitude of agent levels. We have agents who are just got licensed probably like yesterday, right? We have agents who might have been licensed for a year. We have some agents on here who have been licensed for a few years, right? And it's just, so I love sports analogies, but I don't follow sports except for soccer. But I like to pretend like I know sports by using sports analogies. So in sports, what is baseball, football, what do they all have before the season starts?
Preseason.
Preseason, practice, spring training, right?
Kickoff.
So prior to your next season, right? Every quarter is like a new season, if you think about it that way. This lines up each season. So that's why so many agents jump in on this quarter after quarter after quarter. And even if it's not all 12 sessions every quarter, you can pop into, right? If you've never gone through Ignite and graduated to get your certificate, You do want to attend 12 or at least as many as you possibly can. We'll talk about why in just a minute. But then every quarter, I do highly recommend looking at the schedule and saying, okay, where's my business today? What do I need to get more knowledge on? What do I need to perfect? Right. All right. Let's dive into some material. Now, as we go through this, there's a lot of material in a short amount of time. Okay. So in the chat, I did put, and you probably also received an email from my operations coordinator, Melissa, and you will receive it again, by the way, with all the student materials, which are like little workbooks you can work in. We will not be hitting every single page of the workbooks in every one of the Ignite classes, because it's literally 4 to 5 to 6 hours long of material condensed in 2 hours for you. Because I don't think anybody wants to hang out on Zoom until midnight tonight. No? Okay. Just checking. So we're going to kick off Ignite. We're going to do a little activity. It's called your big why. What is this? When you hear the words big why, what does that mean to you? What motivates you? Oh, I think I heard someone, but I'm not sure.
Your motivation.
Your motivation. Yes. When you say motivation, what do you mean by that? You're absolutely right.
Well, some people have different reasons. I mean, I'm sure we all want to be profitable, but some people really have a strong need to want to help others, or maybe, someone is interested in a certain area of, real estate, or this is something that they've always wanted to do. So this is a challenge for them to pick up something new. So we kind of all have our own motivations or reasons behind it.
100%. Is that Crystal? Hey, Crystal. Okay. Your big why drives you, right? I'm going to say something that somebody shared with me when I first started real estate, and I didn't like it, just so y'all know. So I'm about to share something with all of you that I didn't like hearing when I first started, but it does resonate with me now. So some of you are not going to like what I'm about to say. Just keeping it real. As real estate agents, now, if you have another job, put that other job to the side right now. As real estate agents, we wake up every morning unemployed. We then make a choice of the activities we do each day to lead to our success. Now, the good news is that we have no limits on our success except for the ones we put on ourselves. The more difficult side to it is we're our own boss, right? So for any of you, I was a director at a university for 7 years, and it was easy, not easy, it was a hard job as being a director, but it was easier to come in every day, do my job, do what I need to do, because I had a boss, the VP of the company, right? What would happen if I showed up late, went home early, didn't hit my numbers? What do you think would happen? What would that VP have done? Any guesses?
Redistributed you.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really nice way to say that. I would say fire me, but I like that too. Yes, redistribute me to outside the company, or at least might write me up on an action plan before doing that, right? As a real estate agent, we wake up every morning and we're our own boss, right? So we don't have somebody to say, you have to be in the office by this time. You have to, I mean, if you have a coach, you have accountability partners, we'll talk about that soon. We don't have that to the extent that a corporate job does, right? 9 to 5. That's what I mean by corporate job, like a 9 to 5, right? So we need to have a why. Now, to Crystal's point, our whys are complete. Every single person on here right now, what do we have on here? How many people? We have 27 people on here so far. Every person's why is going to be different. So I want you to envision your ideal life. I want you to envision and picture what is pushing you. Not just why did I get in real estate, but what's going to push you? What's going to drive you? Those rainy days like yesterday, the snowy days coming up, the days where we just came off of a vacation and we're like, oh my God, I'm kind of dragging. What is going to push you? What is that why to have you do the activities needed, which we'll talk about, to get the result you want, to hit your goal? Okay. Take a few minutes right now. Just take like 2 minutes and just write something down on a piece of paper. What is your why? By the way, there's no wrong answer. Be as big or small as you want. Take about 2 minutes. And as you're writing that down, I am going to ask in about 45 seconds for a volunteer to share what they wrote down. And for anybody who doesn't want to share it and come off of mute, I would love for anybody to put theirs in the chat box, just so people see like what it's so powerful to share it out to others, because then it becomes real. So if you want to put yours out in the universe, but you don't want to come off of mute, throw that right in the chat box. All right, you can keep writing if you're still thinking about that, putting some words on paper. Could I have somebody share something they wrote down?
I guess I could go.
Great. Is this Connor?
Yeah.
Hey, Connor.
Hello. So I'm in Frederick, Maryland. I moved to Maryland 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And what I wrote down was $2 bank account, because when I moved here, that's what I had in my bank account.
That is very powerful.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's one thing that I write down multiple times a day.
Mm-hmm.
Just especially when I'm working from home.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never want to go back to $2 in my bank account. That was like hands down the most stressful time of my life. Because it was $2 in my bank account, and I've got a screenshot on my phone, and every day I decide whether I want to make it my phone background to make it even more powerful, just because it kind of puts me in that that moment where like you can't forget it.
Absolutely.
So it's almost like you remember where you came from almost.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that. Now here's the thing. Again, I said, whatever a person's why is, if you look at it, if you have some sort of visual, whether it's the backdrop of your phone, it is, I know a gentleman who kind of similar to yours, Connor. He put a pop-up reminder on his phone. Like, you know how you can put a reminder and it pops up at the same time every day on your phone? He actually had a statement that he typed in, and it popped up every day at 1 o'clock on his phone. Right. So day, right, to kick him where he needed to be kicked if he wasn't doing what he needed to do. If you are a vision board maker, one of our agents here, his first why was to always had like really old clunky hand-me-down cars, and one of his big whys was to get his own brand new Mercedes. Don't ask me what kind of car. It's absolutely beautiful, which by the way he just got. So he hit that, so now he has a new why. So he printed out a picture of that and he hung that up. So whatever your why is, create some sort of visual around it. Now here's what I'm going to say about this. And by the way, any class anybody ever takes with me personally, you will always leave with homework. You will always leave with an assignment. A training is never beneficial if you don't leave with action items and you don't then take action. Right? If not, then we're just hanging out for 2 hours, just seeing each other on Zoom, getting to know each other. So what I would challenge all of you to do is two things. One, set aside some time this week. So by Sunday at the latest, put it on your calendar. We'll talk about calendar a little bit. If you don't have one, please go get one. Put it on your, or download one. Put it on your calendar when you're going to set aside time uninterrupted, no distractions, meaning if you got stuff going on in your house, please go to like a coffee shop or something. Okay. Where you take out your piece of paper or your iPad, whatever you use, and you tap into that why a little bit deeper, right? So Connor, would you mind if I use yours a little for this example?
No, go ahead.
So for Connor's, his is pretty powerful, right? But how do we tap in that deeper, right? If he doesn't hit his goal in real estate, it does result in him going back to that $2 in the bank account. What's it going to do? What would that mean, right? What would that do for his life? How would he feel, right? Yep, we're getting all into feelings right now. Because the only person who can actually motivate a person is ourselves. We can have people inspire us. We can have people help us hold us accountable, but motivation has to come from within. And to come from within, we need to know our why. It needs to be powerful enough to push us. So my why when I first so set aside time, dig into a little more. And then the second part of that project is then create some sort of visual around it. A saying, a quote, a vision board, a picture, you decide that. And put it somewhere where you see it every day. Questions on that activity? So I'm going to share this story with you. Really, is it okay if I share a story, by the way? We get a little personal. Is that cool? I mean, you can totally say no. I'm still going to share it. So yeah. I ask questions, but I'll just keep going. When I first started in real estate, I came out of very cushy corporate job, difficult, but cushy. And I took a huge leap into this business. I'm not a risk taker, and it was the biggest risk. And I have a daughter. And at that time, she was just getting into high school. I'm kind of aging myself now, just getting into high school and looking at colleges. So I got into real estate. I sat in a class about a month into getting real estate, and someone said, all right, do this activity, write down your why. And I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. It's my daughter, right? I had a picture of her on my desk and I wrote down my daughter. That did not push me. I had goose egg appointments for a while. I was not doing the lead gen I needed to do. I was not hitting the numbers I needed to hit. Everybody's like, oh my God, call your sphere of influence. We'll talk about that in a minute. And I was not doing that, right? So was that a big enough why for me? Anybody on screen, just shake your head no. It was not. So I sat in another class, and this is about 6 months later. And the instructor was like, hey, can somebody share? Kind of like what Connor did. They're like, hey, does somebody mind sharing? I'm like, absolutely, mine's my daughter. They're like, great, how has that been pushing? I'm like, well, it kind of hasn't. So we started digging into it, so much so where, okay, did bring out a box of tissues, absolutely, where it made me say, well, it's not my daughter. I don't want her being in debt like I always grew up in debt. I don't want her having the same college debt that I did and struggling for so many years. Right? Hear the power behind that? So if you wrote down family or anything, anything you wrote down, I would challenge you to just tap into it more. Even if you wrote down, like, I want to go on a vacation. Where are you going? What would that do for you? This activity sounds easy. It's not. And many agents skip over this. I will tell you, out of the 27 people on here, a quarter of you will do this activity. I don't know who, but a quarter of you will do it. And this is the one thing that you need to do to push you. All right. Questions on the activity or anything about the why? Nope. Nope. Okay, let's move forward. All right, let's get into some nitty gritty, some details. What successful agents do every day. So you grow your business and you run your business. Okay. Without growing your business, you have no business. Right. We can make the prettiest flyers all day long. We can work on business cards till we're blue in the face. We can have the best looking website ever. However, if we're not focused on growing our business, we will never use them. So growing your business, number one, lead generate for buyers and sellers. Now I'm going to define lead generation because that is two words that many agents don't like. I'm just going to use that phrase. Many agents look at the lead generate. We're like, they're almost like these, like, no, like I don't lead generate. Here's the definition of lead generation. Lead generation means having a real estate conversation, whether voice to voice, belly to belly, text to text, or DM to DM, not email, because you can't have it back and forth on email. Right? It's not immediate. So if all of you right now take out your phone, so stop share for a minute. Everybody, oops, I'm on a background, so it's hard to see. Everybody hold up your phone if you have it in front of you or next to you. Everybody, I was about to say, everybody has their phone next to them. Come on. It is very, we're real estate agents. We have our phones on us at all times. All right. What I want all of you to do right now, and you have a choice, by the way. Is everybody cool with getting out of your comfort zone a little bit? Don't worry, I got you. Okay, for tonight until 8 o'clock, I'm your coach tonight. Okay, I want y'all to pick one person in your phone. Now, this could be either somebody you're going to text or somebody you're going to DM, not comment on a post with 200 other comments. Okay, that's a private message on social media. So you're going to pick one person right now. I don't care who it is. It could be your sister. You're going to either text them or DM them. And here is part of what you want them saying. Okay. So it could sound something like this. I'm going to pretend like I am texting Melanie right now. Okay. Sorry, she just happens to be the first block on my screen. It's like the Brady Bunch screen. Now I'm going to pretend like Melanie is a friend of mine and, we haven't caught up in a while. Hey, Melanie, how have you been? It's been a while. I'm actually reaching out to everybody I know right now now, if you're new in real estate, you're saying, let them know. If you've made a change in brokerages, it's to let them know of a change I've made. If you've been in real estate for a while, but have some goals you have coming up, right? Then it's reaching out to everybody to let them know of some goals I have coming up, right? So again, you can put this in your own lingo because you're the one texting it. So make it real to you. So, hey, Melanie, it's Alana. How have you been? It's been forever. I am actually reaching out to everybody I know to let them know I'm in real estate now. And I want to be able to help with any goals that you have this year, next year, beyond, or anybody you know. Any real estate needs that they have. So you're basically saying the one sentence you want in there is any real estate, you can use the word goals or need. Some people don't like the word goals. It's weird. I don't know. People have like weird things with words. Any real estate goals you have or anybody you know with a real estate goal this year or next year that I can help. Anything before that text, that's up to you, right? Hey, how was your day? How are the kids? By the way, I'm also reaching out. Now, for those of you who are a little shy right now and you're sitting there going, this is intrusive. So in real estate, we call this like a drunk monkey on our shoulder, a limiting belief. So it's this voice in our head going, oh my God, I don't want to bother them. What if they're at dinner? This is very salesy. We have all these voices that tell us things. So you can now use me as your scapegoat. What that sounds like is, hey, Roy, I am in a class. Hey, Roy, it's Alana. Listen, I'm in a class right now, and my teacher in this class is forcing me to send this text. Blame me. If you do not feel comfortable just rolling out and asking goals, just blame me. Okay, questions. Oh my God, Elsie, I love this, the laughing face. Questions before you all send one text or DM right now. Any questions? And do the little reaction button, or in the chat, just say sent, a little thumbs up reaction button right after you send it. Take 30 seconds. Don't overthink it, send it. Okay, I'll give you 10 more seconds. You sent one and you're like just sitting there, copy, paste, send it to another person. Okay. Everybody who is on the screen with your cameras on, I need you to hold up your hand. Everybody hold up your, if you're on the screen, your camera's on. By the way, if you're home and you just see us, you can hold up your hand too. We just won't see your hand. Okay, hold up your hand. Now go like this. We're all giving each other high fives. Okay, awesome. You just took action. How hard was that? Difficult? How did that feel? Be honest, by the way, safety zone.
That was easy.
That was easy. Oh, I feel like she just pressed that button, you know, about
That little red button.
Yep. Okay. That's lead generation. You just lead generated. Now, do you have to incorporate calls? Do you have to incorporate other things? Do you have to do that times the number of people? Yes. You're going to have specific, before tonight is over, you will have very specific numbers. And the numbers are not just numbers I just made up out of thin air. These numbers are going to be based on proven statistics over 10 years of data over top producing agents to lead you to produce the goals you want. Okay, so you're going to have very specific numbers that if you hit certain numbers per week, you will hit your goal, period. Exclamation point, smiley face. All right. Any other feedback regarding the activity? So I'm going to tell a little story about, by the way, I'm all about stories. So there's an agent I worked with, coached for a few years, and she was struggling lead generating. Okay. Anybody been in the business? Ever struggle with that? Been in the business over a year? Anybody struggle with lead generation? I see some hands. Yep. You're not alone. Right. So I challenged this agent and I said, I want you to send a text or a DM to 25 people per day for the next 5 days. She chose, so she went on whatever, Instagram or Facebook, I don't remember which one, but doesn't matter, social media. And she actually sent 50 DMs every day for the next 5 days. What do you think happened? What do you guys think happened?
She got some business.
Absolutely. In 5 days, she had multiple people responding back. So not only did she plant the seed that she's in real estate with, what is that, 200 people, 250 people? So not only did she plant the seed in people's minds, oh, now when she thinks of, you know, when they think of real estate, they think of her. But in 1 week, there were 4 people who said they want to buy a house and 2 people that said they want to list the house. Now she was 3 weeks into being a real estate agent. She didn't know what she was doing. She didn't have the education yet. She had the backing of her coaches and the brokerage and all that to help her through it. Right? Where you are, if you're with Keller Williams, I know we have some visitors on here. You have people in your office who will not let you fail. Don't be afraid of the yes. Okay, do not be afraid of that yes. Oh, sense. That's so exciting. Okay. Welcome to Ignite. I always like to get people into action before we actually go up into Ignite. Nothing else about your business will have as big an impact on it as the number of leads you have. Right? What's a lead, by the way? What is a lead?
Potential client.
Yes. Who said that?
Me, Jenny.
Absolutely. A lead is a potential client. Right? Every single person you come in contact with, whether it is if you have kids and you're part of a PTA, if you do any sports meetup groups, if you just walk into a Panera Bread tomorrow, everybody in your phone, every single person has a real estate need at some point in their life. It is our job to build relationships, find out when that is, why that is, and help them for whenever that time is. Real estate, I'm going to burst some bubbles tonight. Real estate is not instant gratification. By the way, that was the hardest thing for me getting into real estate to overcome. Real estate's the long game. 80% of who you talk to will have a real estate need in the future. Could be 6 months from now, could be 12 months, could be 18 months. Right? So if all of you today talk to 10 people, the majority of them will have a need in the future. Okay. I'm going to give you a lot of numbers. These numbers are proven numbers over many years of research through top producing agents. So the screen here, start with your sphere. What is your sphere? Do all activity. What's your sphere? Somebody know or want to take a guess?
People you
Emily.
know.
Absolutely. It's people you know. Okay. So your sphere, do not judge the Zoom whiteboard circles. Drawing on a whiteboard on Zoom is not the easiest. Your sphere is made up of multiple levels. The inner circle, those are the close-knit people, right? Those are the family members. By the way, anywhere they live, because if you know somebody who lives in California, what do you have? What could you have?
Referral.
Yes, thank you. Referral. Do not forget to call those people and say, hey, I have partnerships across the nation. I have partnerships in California. When you have a real estate need, let me help you. Let me at least connect you with a good agent, because there's a lot of agents who are not good. Not all of you, because you showed up to class tonight. So your inner circle is just that, your inner circle, your friends, your family, your close-knit people. The next layer are the people we have these friends who we connect with maybe a few times a year, but we're not like hanging out all the time. We don't talk all the time, right? But we touch base every so often. Family members you might not see except for like family reunions or weddings, every so often, right? And then this outer circle, right? That's everybody else, right? Hairdresser, mechanic. If you have a partner, significant other of any sorts, anybody they know or work with, because you have a connection, right? 1 degree of separation. It's anybody who you have on social media who is connected with you at any point in time, which, let's face it, it's all those people we went to college or high school with who we have not talked to in 20 years sometimes, but yet they found us and they friended us. We know them, they know us, so there's more likely a trust there for easier business. Questions on these circles? Right? Your dentist, by the way, is in the circle. Your doctor is in the circle. Don't just think of who do I talk to all the time? Who's my friends and family? It's greater than that. So right now I'm going to ask for somebody on here to go to your phone go to your contacts and scroll all the way down, and whoever can do it first and the fastest, give me what numbers at the bottom of your contact list on your phone. Anybody have a number?
290.
290. So I'm going to take 290 and I'm going to times that by 6%. So was that Jenny? Okay.
Yes.
Jenny right now has 17 closings sitting in her phone, and these are 17 closings for the next 12 months. Jenny, if she works it properly, can have 17 closings in 12 months. How do you feel about that?
Good.
Okay. So whatever number you came up with in your phone, times it by 0.06. Now, does anybody know where 6% came from? Okay. So there are these gurus out there, right? They're real estate market research gurus, and every year they study statistics and they study number. And for many years, it was a real estate agent, when working their sphere properly. By the way, I just did the phone. I did not include social media in that. So if we added social media, you probably have more. So when an agent taps into their sphere properly, years ago, they were producing about 10% results off of it. As of about 2019, 2020, the results turned into about 6% results. Don't ask me why, I have no idea. So we use market research study, 6% results off of the phone, off of your sphere. Year over year, by the way. Okay. Right now, there's somebody on this Zoom who is having a struggle thinking, oh my God, I can't reach out to my sphere. Like, I don't want to bother them. I threw something on social media. They'll know I'm in real estate. No, they won't. Anybody have that feeling or thought right now? Can we just... Okay, I see a head nod. That's all I need. I need a head nod. All right. Your sphere is sometimes, for some of you on here, your sphere is going to be the easiest for you to reach out to. You'll have no problem. Hey, let's go. Let me help you through real estate needs. Who do you know? Here's my goals. People love helping people with goals. For some of the agents on this, out of these 30 right now on this call, for some of you, reaching out to your sphere is going to be very difficult, and some of you will not do it. I would challenge you to rip off the Band-Aid, and I will promise you nothing bad happens. And the reason I say that is I was that agent for my first year, not calling my sphere at all. I posted on social media, I sent out emails, and I never reached out to them. I didn't want to bother them, right? I was that agent. Then I had 3 months where my very close friends, by close being I get together with them every week, all over a $400,000 price range, 3 friends in a 3-month time span, buy and sell with other agents. So I'm just going to do a little math right now. And that is, let's see, I'm just going to use some averages. That's approximately $24,000 I lost in 3 months. So to Connor's big why that he shared, thank you so much, right? If it was going back to $2 in a bank account or calling the sphere to put $24,000 in your bank account within a 3-month time span, which one would you do? Would you rip off that Band-Aid? Right? Do you think after 3 months of losing $24,000 and having my friends, close friends, use other agents, not because they didn't want to use me, it's because they forgot, they didn't know I was an agent. I was 007. Okay, I was totally secret agent. Okay. So this is the greatest source of business. If you interview top producing agents across the nation and you say, where did most of your business come from? 99% of them will say they come from referrals, they come from my sphere. Now, you do need other sources. Throughout Ignite, you will learn so many different ways to generate business. There's literally a document that says 50 different ways to generate business. There's no one way. Okay? This is just a proven way to get you there faster. We talked about that. Questions on the sphere? Concerns, thoughts? No. Okay, if you have them, take yourself off mute, put them in the chat box. Hey, I'm going to check that throughout of this. One of the biggest questions agents ask is, well, what do I say? Right? Oh, is that a hand raised? Is that Wayne?
Yeah, yeah, this is me. It's Wayne.
Hi, Wayne.
Excuse my voice. Good evening, by the way. Excuse my voice. So I would love to ask you, so I've heard about, and I don't mean for this to come off like in a negative way. Like, it's definitely not in a negative way. It's just what I've heard in general, right?
Mhm.
That a lot of times you get a fair amount of business from strangers versus people you know. Like, people who are strangers are more likely to work with you versus people who know you and they have like a perception of who you are already, if that makes sense. And sometimes they struggle to like, oh, you're in real estate now, versus like a complete stranger. If you present yourself to them the right way, they're more apt to working with you because you're genuine, sincere, and things like that. So what do you have to say about that, if you don't mind me asking?
So, first of all, I love that you brought that up. So thank you.
Welcome.
Can I keep it real with you, Wayne?
Oh yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
You're okay. I'm just
Give me the stack.
I ask for permission. Okay. Sometimes I come in hot. You know.
Please do.
So can an agent be super successful without calling their sphere? Absolutely.
Mhm.
I called expires and for sale by owners. That was my bread and butter. I was all about expires and for sale by owner because I was like, well, they already said they want a list. I'm just going to call them. Right. Did I lose a lot of business and did I have to work about 10 times harder than most of the other agents who joined me at the exact same time? Yes. And having coached now a little over 500 plus agents over the past few years, I can tell you something for a fact. People do business with those they like and they trust. We're in the business of relationships, not sales. Do we need sales tactics? Will you learn negotiation skills? Absolutely.
Right.
A stranger, we have to work a lot. Don't get me wrong. I love me some expires. I love some strangers. Okay.
Yeah.
I love me some expires and for sale by owners.
Yeah.
We have to work twice as hard to build that relationship, to gain that trust. And they're interviewing other agents and we have to work twice as hard to earn that business.
Got it.
A friend or family sphere, right? A person who has a connection of some sort, they know our name already. That bridge is already we've closed that gap. Right? Do we still need to put on, right? And I'm going to use a little script for you in just a second. Do we still need to take off our friend hat and put on a real estate hat with them?
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, we also always have, and this is an always, real estate is never 100%. We're never going to get 100% of this, 100% of that. So any perfectionists on this call, sorry, there's no such thing in real estate. Okay. We will never have all of our friends and family want to work with us. I will say this, and it hurts every time I say this, by the way. My husband's parents have never bought or sold with me or even letting me refer anybody. They refuse. And it's been many, 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 many houses because they love to buy and sell. And they've been burnt. They've had agents who were unethical. They've had agents who have, I'm going to say, because it's after 6 o'clock, screw them over, part of my language, people, right? And yet they still will not allow me. You will have those people Does it hurt? Absolutely. Nothing you can do about it. But you will, to Wayne, to your question, the agents who are out there saying it will be easier and you'll get more business with strangers are afraid to tap into their sphere and have not done it. I'm just going to say that. Coaching over 500 agents, I'm just going to say that. Not good or bad, just as what it is. Is that cool? Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yes, you did. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. But I do love a balance of strangers and sphere. All
Yeah.
right. So let's go into a little script. Okay. Because most agents are like, well, what do I say? What do I say? I don't want to sound salesy. What do I say? All right. Can I ask for a volunteer to play the part of a friend of mine? Ever want to be my friend tonight? We're gonna hang out. I'm gonna call you
Me?
Wayne.
Oh,
All right,
I
we're
thought
ready.
you said my name already. Go ahead.
I
Let's do
didn't,
it.
but cool. You just look at that. He
Oh,
all told
all right.
himself.
Go ahead. We're here. Let's do
All
it.
right. So here I'm gonna lay the foundation. So I'm gonna pretend like Wayne is in my phone. And Wayne and I have not spoken. And let's say Wayne and I used to work at a company together like 2 years ago. But you know, we never delete people out of our phones. Is that true? We just don't, right? We never forget. Sometimes we do, but it's very rare. So Wayne's in my phone. I'm going from A to Z and I'm calling people on my phone and I'm letting them know I'm in real estate, right? But I want to do it in an organic way using what's called the Ford method. You see it on the screen here. So, ready, Wayne? I'm going to call you.
I'm ready. How you say your name so I can say it correctly?
Alana.
Alana. Okay, good. I don't want to mess it
Ring.
up. Hello. Hello. This is Wayne speaking.
Hey, Wayne. This is Alana. It's been
Alana, oh my
years.
God, it's been a minute. What's going on?
I know. Oh my God. Well, listen, I was going through my phone
Yeah.
and, you know, we never delete anybody. I realize it's been forever.
Yeah. I
How
hope
have you
not.
been? What have you
I've
been
been
up to
great.
lately?
I've been great. Just a little bit of this and that. Still working, still teaching. No complaints really. Family is good. You know, the usual. How about yourself?
Yeah, I've been good. I don't know if you have been really good, actually.
Yeah.
Family's good. You know,
Excellent.
daughter graduated college.
Hey, congratulations.
I know, it's still a headache
Awesome.
though.
Yeah, of course.
And just yeah, and I made it, you know, I'm in real estate now.
What? You're kidding?
I
Oh
know,
my
it's
God.
crazy.
Yeah, you're always ambitious. I love that.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's going on with your family? Like what you said your family's good?
Yeah, family is good. Actually, I bought a house about 3 years ago. I bought it, 3 years ago by myself. Actually, my fiance is moving down probably next year. And funny you called me because we may be looking into owning a home in the next couple years, you know. She's kind of talked about staying here at this house, just so we can have some time here. But I can't imagine that we stay here more than like 3 years or something like that. But yeah, I purchased my first home 3 years ago. And yeah, it's so awesome that you're in real estate. I wish I would have known that 3 years ago, man. Like, yeah.
I wish I was in the business 3 years ago. Okay,
No,
we're gonna
this is
pause it
true.
there. We're gonna
This
pause
is
it there.
true.
Way to play, my friend. Thank you, Wayne.
Yeah.
All right. So before I go into some specifics on this Ford method, I want to actually ask somebody on here, how does that sound? Wayne, you're not allowed to answer this. Somebody else on here. How was that? Be truthful, by the way.
Candid.
Candid. Good word. What else?
Unsure.
Did you say unsure?
Unsure, yeah.
What do you mean by unsure?
I don't know. That just sounded to me like no strength. But I thought that was the point. Anyways, never mind.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. So the Ford method is to build a relationship stronger, especially when you're reaching out to your sphere if you haven't talked to them in a long time. So you notice how I planted a seed about real estate, but I never asked anything about, I never went into any details because he didn't open the door. He didn't ask me anything till the end, which by the way, that's very rare, right? The whole like, oh my God, we're thinking about buying a house. Yeah, that typically does not happen, right? It will for 1 out of every 50 people you talk, 1 out of every 100 people you talk to, it's going to happen. Give you some numbers. But what we're doing here is we are having a conversation right now. I use this example for a person I haven't talked to in 2 years. Because a lot of times when we call our sphere, if they're in our phone and we haven't talked to them in years, most agents do not want to call them and say, hey, Wayne, oh my God, we haven't talked in years. How are you? Great. Awesome. I'm real estate now. Do you have any real estate needs? No. Right. Again, we're in the business of relationships. How is that a relationship builder? It's not. Right. If you show care for the person, rekindle the relationship. Now, he asked me, what have I been up to? That's my foot in the door. Right. If someone says, what have you been up to? Now, anybody who has another job, you do not talk about your other job. Never bring it up. Doesn't exist. Sorry. Now, if they're like, wait, are you still doing this? Oh, I am, as I build my real estate career. Okay. You lead with real estate if they open the door for you to lead with real estate. Connor, do I see a hand?
Yeah, so well, I mean, I mistook the statement. I thought you said if you work another job, you don't mention real estate, but then you clarified it.
Yep, flip that
Okay.
around. Yep.
Okay.
Like if you're a teacher and you're in real estate, don't mention teaching at all. Right? If they're like, well, what have you been up to? Oh my God, I'm in real estate now.
Okay. Yeah, that makes way more sense. I wait
Literally.
tables on the weekend, so I was like, I push this all the time.
So here's the thing. This can be done. Voice to voice is always king. It will always beat everything. It can also be done with text, right? I went through my phone one day and I just started with my A's. I sat there on a Sunday and our phone's alphabetized. I start with my A's and I just started texting people. And I got to this one guy on my phone, Adam, who I have not talked to, Adam and his wife, in like 5 years. I was like, oh my God, how has it been 5 years since I talked to this guy? And I sent him a random text. And I was like, hey, Adam, I don't know, it's been way too long. I'm reaching out to see how you and the family's been. What are your kids up to? And are you still a travel agent? Are you still in that business? Mentioning nothing about real estate, caring solely about him and his family. It striked up a conversation to talk more about his family, more about real estate. And then it led into texting over the next few days. So it took about 3 days to get to this, right? Where he then came back and asked me a question that led me to bring up real estate. Right? It was organic. The purpose of this Ford method is to be organic in your conversations. Questions about that? Does this help? Like when you hear the Ford method, is this like, is anybody having this moment of like, oh my God, that actually makes more sense?
Alana, I know you said you didn't want me to say anything, but I have
Oh
to
no,
say
you can
that-
talk now. You're good.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I have to say that I don't know about everybody else, but even talking to you, I felt like it almost felt like you weren't trying to mention real estate initially. Like you were kind of like, yeah, I'm in real estate. And for me, actually, my experience has been when I share that I transitioned from teaching to real estate. Everybody's like excited, like, oh my God, and they start telling me what they've done in real estate. And I'm like, all right, listen, get back to me when you know what I mean? Like, keep me in your mind when you move forward. And I'm like, all right,
I love
I'm gonna
that.
forget. Yeah. I also wanted to say that just from the conversation, it sounded like we had a good relationship in the past. Like, like you're like, hey Wayne, oh my God, Lana, what's going on? Like there was a decent relationship in the past where it was good to hear from you, you know what I mean? So I guess rapport is important as well.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. A lot of times we're afraid to make those calls because we're like, oh my God, I haven't talked to this person. And like when I finally ripped off the Band-Aid and started calling my sphere because I lost all that money in 3 months, I ended up calling someone who I haven't talked to. So I called this person. It was 2016 when I called. I didn't talk to them. The last time I talked to them was 2011. That's a lot of years. Right. And they weren't even a friend of mine back then. They were my director at the university, or my VP at the university. But they're in my phone, so I'm like, well, I have their number. I'm going to call them. What's the worst that could happen? What is the worst that could happen?
Can tell you to F off.
They could.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
that's
gonna
not our problem.
Like I said,
That's
it's not going to
that's
happen though. What ended up
Okay.
happening was, by the way, if they do that, please delete them out of your phone because they should not be in there to begin with. But what ended up happening was, number one, we actually, I want to say we rekindled a friendship because we're truly friends, but we created a friendship. He gave me 12 referrals in the next 30 days. 12 referrals in the next 30 days of people he knew. Oh my God, thank you. And we've now been friends ever since, and we do brunch every quarter on a Sunday. It's been amazing. Right. So only good actually comes from reaching out to these people who are hanging out on your phone and on your social media. All right, but let's now put these people somewhere. We have these individuals, right? So Jenny has 290 people in her phone. It's easy as a new agent to remember that one or two people who said, oh, he wants to buy a house or he wants to sell a house. But if you have 290 people and you talk to 290 people over the next 90 days, are we going to remember our conversations? Are we going to remember that Wayne and his fiance want to buy a house next year, but Melanie wants to sell her house next June and Connor wants to invest in a property in 2024? No, we do not have those memories. And Post-it notes do not work. I tried it. So you need to put them somewhere. Okay, now if you're with Keller Williams, you have Command. If you're with a team, with a different database, I don't care what database you use. Okay. But you need to put them in a system to let the system be your memory tool. Let the system be part of your leverage. Right. So what's everybody's first homework assignment I gave? See if people wrote it down or remembered. Yes.
Set aside time this,
The
oh, sorry.
the why, expand your why.
Expand your why, create a visual. You guys ready for homework assignment number 2?
Mm-hmm.
Homework assignment number 2 is, if you do not have everybody from your phone and any other, like if you have Excel sheets or CSVs or people, bag of business cards, anywhere you have names and numbers or names, numbers and emails, any form of contact info, okay, you need to put those into your database in the next 7 days. Now, depending on where you are, some offices, like I know some people here at Legacy, we have a virtual tech guy, Scott Leroy, you can send him all the sheets and he'll do it for you. A lot of other offices have some agent service people. So if you don't know how to do that, please reach out to somebody in your leadership team in your office. They absolutely have somebody there who can help you. Okay. But you need to get that into a system as quickly as possible, because that's the fastest way you're going to hit your goals. Okay. Did I see a hand raised? No. Okay. Questions on the database. You're going to hear a lot about lead generation and database over the next 4 weeks. Nope. So the next 4 weeks, you're going to, tonight is all about fueling. It's starting, right? It's with the why, it's with the database, it's taking some action, which we're going to take action again in a little bit. Over the next 4 weeks, you're going to learn from different producing agents, amazing people, on language skills, focusing on your database, how to really tap into it properly, finding buyers, finding sellers, the listing presentation, marketing, negotiating, et cetera, et cetera. So the next 4 weeks, the 12 sessions, is everything you never learned in real estate school, that if you truly tap into each session, take action after each one, you will have a contract in 30 days. I say that, and then I always look for facial expressions because I saw this facial expression just now. So if you want a contract, buyer, seller, investor, in 30 days, really, truly take action after each Ignite session. I'm going to give you some specifics on what that looks like tonight. Okay. I said tonight's a lot like the layup for what to expect. Okay, so let's talk some numbers. Right, I mentioned early, about 30 minutes ago, I mentioned what numbers produce the results you're looking for. Now, I'm going to talk about the numbers on the screen, but I'm going to talk about a shifting market because it's a little bit different. These are the 4 habits that we need to focus on as an agent. Number 1, grow a manager database. Add 10 new contacts to your database daily. Now, in the beginning, that's easy. We have an entire phone. Let's just put them all in there, right? But we can't just put them in there and then not grow it. You need to continually grow it to grow your business. Prospect, another word, lead generate. Speak with 10 people daily. That's daily. Okay. Now, for those of you who have another job and you're like, well, this day I don't get home till 8 o'clock at night. This day, these are my hours. You need to look at your schedule and do what's called time blocking. You're going to learn that throughout Ignite. What that means is you're going to look at your calendar for the week and you're going to say, okay, when do I have time to put into real estate? If you have 5:30 to 8 o'clock 3 nights a week, and you have 5 hours on a Saturday and 2 hours on a Sunday, those are your real estate hours. Okay. So now you're saying, how can I get 50 conversations? We had to find that 50 conversations in that 7 days. Okay. So every single person has the same 24 hours a day. Everybody has stuff going on in life. What you do with the time you have to focus on real estate will lead you to either success or not success, the goals you want or not hidden goals. So I can tell you right now, I'm going to use Agent A and Agent B as my examples. Okay, these are 2 agents. They both started the exact same month in January of 2019. Agent A earned $102,000 by October. He capped at his market center, keeping 100% of his commission after that. And he worked a 60-hour job as a manager at AT&T while having a 1-year-old.
Wait. Can you say that again, please?
Absolutely. Agent A was a manager at AT&T, had a 1-year-old at home. His wife is a teacher. He only had a certain amount of hours in the evenings and weekends to focus on real estate. He used those hours to specifically prospect, to set appointments, because if you don't have appointments, you don't have any business. That was the only thing he focused on in his time, minus maybe when his kids went to bed and it was too late to call people, he would work on database stuff and things that didn't involve talking to people. In 10 months, he earned over $100,000 and was able to quit his other job, go full-time in real estate. Agent B had 1 closing his first year in real estate. And by the way, even a little more time to focus on real estate than Agent A. There's only 2 things that separates these 2 people. They're both, I know them both. They're amazing people. They build relationships like crazy. They are smart as all get out. They're super caring. They have the biggest hearts. There is only one thing that caused the difference. What is it?
Why?
Consistency.
Why?
Prospecting.
Prospecting.
Consistency.
Consistency with prospecting. I'm gonna put those words together. Consistency with prospecting. There's no secret in real estate. Here's the secret. The more people you connect with, the more business you're gonna have. Period. That's the secret. Sounds easy, but it's not, right?
Hmm.
If it was easy, everybody would have millions of dollars, right? But if you have a limited amount of time, or if you don't have a limited amount of time, speaking with 10 people per day or 50 in a week minimum is what you need to get to. Now, I'm going to change that up a little bit. If you're not hitting that number right now, that's your goal. I just want to put this out there, what to work towards. In a shifting market, we have to double down on our activities to get the same results. What that means is, instead of 10 people, that's 20 people per day, 100 in a week. Okay. Again, we need to start with walking a 5K before we start running a marathon. So if you're not talking to 10 people yet a day, start there. Just know that over the next few months, you want to make, okay, I talked to 10 people today. I talked to 10 people today. I talked to 10. Can I talk to 11 tomorrow? Can I add one more before I go home? Can I add one more? Right? Just start moving that needle a little bit. Okay. Write 10 notes to people. Now that could be a thank you for referring people. That could be a thank you for, like, it was great reconnecting with you. There's probably about 5 of you on this Zoom who are going to do this. I love numbers, by the way. Can you tell? I love numbers. There's probably about, numbers tell a story. That's why I love them so much. About 5 of you on the Zoom are going to do this. Because most of you are like, writing notes. Who does that? It's 2022. Like, who writes notes? Right? Anybody get a birthday card in the mail?
Yes.
Holiday cards, things like that?
Yes.
How does that feel?
Pleasure.
Okay, what do we typically get in the mail?
Bills.
Junk, bills,
Their bills.
and junk. So imagine being the agent, right? The select few who sets him or herself apart by all of a sudden sending someone a card. I will tell you that right now, oh, here it is. Hold on. At my desk, I always have, see this box? It's kind of hard to see. Here's a set of 50. So I have a set of 50 cards. I went on Amazon. I found what I was, I just found a box on Amazon of 50 cards. And I always have them by my desk. Right? Writing is a lost art. Set yourself apart a bit. And then know the market. Preview 10 homes. As an agent, now if you haven't quite joined CentralLock yet, you don't have that key card, on weekends, go to open houses. The easiest way to preview homes. Right? But just start getting out there. It doesn't matter what homes, just any homes within your area or an area you want to focus in. The more homes you preview, the faster you're going to become an expert of the market. Okay. Any questions on these, what's called 10-4 daily habits?
Ilana,
Yes.
for the previewing of the homes, like, it doesn't matter what homes you preview, is it the same as like when we talked about going to like open houses and we're saying, stay within your market center, but it's in terms of viewing homes, you're saying anybody. It doesn't, like, something close to you, of course, convenient for you, but.
Absolutely. Doesn't matter any home at all, right? If you have, so I work in Towson, I live in Howard County, and when I first became an agent, I really wanted to get to know Howard County. That's where I wanted to build up most of my business. So every weekend and multiple times a week, I would just line up showings for myself. I bring people with you, right? Bring a friend, bring a fellow agent. You have a significant other, right? Bring them. It's fun, right? Wayne, I see a
So
question.
when are you looking for? This is maybe not too, I mean, dummy question, but when are you looking for? What are you looking for when you go to review those homes as a new agent?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what you're really looking for is, because again, the home is already listed, so you can't list it. Don't go after it. You'll lose your license, get a fine. What you're looking for is you're just getting to know the market as far as, I can tell you right now, I'll give you an example. I can tell you right now, if an agent says, well, I'm sorry, if a buyer says, well, I want to live in this part of Columbia in Howard County with this many bedrooms and this many bathrooms, and I'm pre-approved for $275. I know I need to have a conversation with that buyer about looking outside of Columbia, or talking about, do you want a huge fixer-upper? Like, are you okay with the project? Because if you preview, like, it's getting to know the prices. What are the homes worth? What are they selling for? Looking them up, and then prior to going out, look at the home on Bright MLS. How many days have been in the market, right? Just knowledge, right? So if you go out and preview a home that's been on the market 57 days, right? I looked one up recently, it was on the market 57 days, which means it's overpriced. And if I were to go to preview that, I could sit there and go, okay, well, number one, I already know it's overpriced. It's been on the market 57 days. And I can look around the house, and maybe I go back and I do a fake CMA, right? A pretend CMA, as if I was trying to see what it should be priced, right? It's you practicing, getting to know it, learning the prices, learning the locations, right? How many houses are on the market? What are the days on market? Right? So you can say, when somebody says to you, hey, how's the market in Frederick? Oh my God. And just last week, these 3 houses went on the market and they all went in 6 days. Wow. Wayne must be an expert by knowing that. Right. Wayne, I see your hand raised.
Yeah, so actually I have a question that from the last question that was raised. My first question is, you were talking about when we get our Century, when we get our Century lock, that we could preview the homes. I don't know where I've either read this or heard this, but I thought before we like check out those homes, we're supposed to like contact the agent to say we're going to go check it out. Is that true? Or
Well, yeah, you would always schedule a showing, and Bright MLS will walk you through how to, like, it will show you, it will tell you how to schedule it. And I do always recommend, within scheduling a showing, you put a note saying, I'm a local agent previewing this home.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
That way that agent doesn't get super excited about the fact that, oh my God, there's a buyer coming. Like, do they want to buy it? Right.
Right.
So just being, just a friendly note.
Right. So basically saying, like, if we're going to learn the market and we want to see the houses and we have the Century lock, we just send a little note to the listing agent and say, hey, we're just stopping by to check out the house, getting, I'm an agent as well. I'm just getting to know the market, and that should be good to go.
Yeah, so you would do it in, like, when you schedule, I don't want to get into Bright MLS training right now, but when you schedule on Bright MLS, there's a note section. So we'll give you like a time frame that's available for showings, and then it will give you a note section. I'll just put that note in there.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
You select the property, and there is a tab down saying showing. You click in showing, and then you go to.
I don't want to get too far down into Bright MLS. It's a whole nother class, a whole nother training, right? Bright MLS, by the way, you don't have to wait for your market center to host a training. Bright MLS has amazing trainings that they have, like learning from the people who created it. So you can go onto their website, and there's an entire training portal. They have classes. You can go to their classes. They have an amazing training center and support system. So don't feel as if you have to always go to and wait for a training in your market center. You can just go directly to the source for them. Yep. All right. So let's talk a little bit about day in the life of, but before we do this, we're going to take action again. We're going to take action again. So right now we're going to take, it is 7:22. we are going to take 10 minutes. Okay. And in this 10 minutes, you're either going to text, DM, or call. Super huge kudos to those who call, by the way. I'm going to give you extra high fives. Voice is always king. Voice to voice is a dying art. So text, DM, or call. And you can either do the same text you did before, letting people know that you're reaching out to everybody you know, letting them know you're in real estate, or you made a change in real estate. And, you know, you're setting your goals for the new year.
What
Helping
is
friends and
DM?
family, right? If you call somebody, here's the only thing I'm asking you to do. In the very start of your phone call, you start it with, "Hey, Crystal, it's Alana. Oh my God, how have you been? Listen, I'm in a class right now. I only have a few minutes." Right? That way you do not get in a conversation for 30 minutes with a person because you only have 10 minutes right now. Okay. If you are a talker, you might not want to use this time to call people, send some text messages. If you don't know how to get off the phone with somebody, because I need you back here in 10 minutes. So any questions before we start this activity? And what I want to do is when we come back, I want to ask for success stories. Did anybody get a referral from it? Do we have multiple successes? How many people did people reach out to? What did you get? Last time I did this, by the way, one person got 3 referrals out of it. One person even found a potential seller and 2 potential buyers in 10 minutes.
Wow.
Okay. Any questions before we start? And I'll be here. So if you need anything, I'm here. All right, let's come on back. If you're finalizing the last text or DM, get it finalized, send it, and come on back. If you made some phone calls and you have a talker on the phone, tell them that your class is calling you back into the room. Okay, you got to go. All right, so Wayne is extremely excited to tell something about what happened in his thing. So I'm going to, because he's like, let's go. So Wayne.
I had a colleague that I used to work with. She retired last year. And ironically, literally the day she was leaving, she was saying like, yeah, I think I'm gonna sell this house. That's last year, right? So as we're talking, I noticed on WhatsApp that she posted a conversation of her, and she's, you know, older lady. She mistakenly posted a conversation. So I was like, you know what, let me just call her real quick. So I called her, "Hey Bryce, what's going on?" I had text her, I was like, "Hey, your conversation is public." So I helped her to delete it. And she goes, "What's going on with you?" I said, "I'm in real estate now." "Oh my gosh." She goes, "I'm trying to sell my house." So I was like, "Do you have an agent?" And she goes, "No." She goes, "You know, I bought it for 72. People are saying it's worth 100, something like that." I said, "Bryce, listen, it's great hearing from you, blah, blah." I was like, I can't be on terribly long. I was like, but if you want, we could sit down and talk about this. Let's meet up. We haven't talked in a little bit. Let's meet up and talk. I was like, and you can share like, you know, what your goals are. And I share where I'm at. I was like, and I got some great people that can help us. Cause you know, I was like, we always could use people to help us to see something that I might not be able to see. She was, "Okay, great. Call me lunchtime Thursday. I'm retired. I got all day and let's meet up." So I was like, all right, cool. And I got off the phone.
10 minutes. 10 minutes. And wait, can we just one of these right here, right?
Oh,
10
no.
minutes. And that is a potential listing appointment to lead to a potential listing right there. 10 minutes. Okay, I want to hear from somebody else. That was awesome. Wayne, thank you so much for sharing that. All right,
Thank you.
somebody else. What happened?
I got feedback from a few people. No appointment set, but definitely few close people that I actually hadn't talked to in a while that are gonna refer my name. It's a small community where we live. So pretty much everybody knows each other. And so yeah, that was pretty impressive for them to actually respond right away and kind of say that, you know, they're not looking at this moment, but they may have a few people in mind, you know, that they've talked to, so they were going to refer my name.
Love that. Now, here's the thing. I want to point something out that's really important about what Crystal just shared, and that is you reconnected with people. They now know you're in real estate, right? You've planted that seed. They now, when they think of real estate, right now, Crystal's on their mind. So if all of a sudden tomorrow, one of those people that you spoke with goes to work and all of a sudden their coworker is sitting there going, yeah, God, I think I'm tired of renting and I want to buy a house. They're going to be like, oh my God, that's so weird. I just talked to Crystal yesterday. Right? I need to connect with my friend. By the way, that's how it happens. That is how it happens. Right? Has anybody ever, anybody currently buying a car or just have bought a car recently? In the past year, maybe? You know, oh, okay, great. This worked. Okay. So Jenny, what kind of car did you buy? If you don't mind me asking, or thinking of buying?
A RAV4.
RAV4. So when you were thinking of buying a RAV4 and you started test driving a RAV4s, what did you see? By the way, I'm hoping this works right now. What did you see all the time on the road?
RAV4s.
Okay. Now, 3 years ago, I'm going to assume, thank you, 3 years ago, or even 2 years ago, she had no thoughts of RAV4s. And I'm going to assume she never saw a RAV4. They didn't exist. There were no RAV4s on the road. All of a sudden, she started thinking about buying a RAV4. She tested her RAV4. Wow, this is so weird. Everybody drives RAV4s. So there's a little part of our brain that's called the RAS. By the way, some things, anybody who knows me, especially here at Legacy, you know that I love psychology. I studied it. I love it. Everything we do with the psychology behind it. So there is a little part of our brain in the back. It's called the RAS, Reticular Activating System. When you think of something, all of a sudden you start seeing it or hearing it. For anybody who's been in real estate over a year, we tend to all of a sudden see everything real estate related. We do not miss a sign in a yard. We overhear every conversation at restaurants, right? Our ears perk up with what? Real estate? Right? Our RAS is fully active, okay? So Crystal, what you did is you have activated that RAS for all those people. So now they're actually going to be listening for the words real estate, but just so you know, RAS only stays activated for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, they forget you're on real estate. My brother to this day forgets that I'm in real estate.
It's
Every
funny
month.
that you said that, Alana, because when I went to Vegas, we had a layover in Texas, and that must have been the same time that the conference was going on for KW, but apparently a lot of other real estate companies were having theirs as well in other portions of Texas, but that just happened to be kind of, I guess, the hub. I don't know if that's the weekend for it to happen, but they were all over the place. The plane, I never listened to other people's conversations like that. Not that aware. You know, I go to my seat, I pull out my book, or I put my little thing around my neck to get ready to take a nap. This was not the case. I heard every other real estate conversation going on, and I could tell you within an arm's reach of who all was there to go to one of those, one of those shows, or I mean, not show, but the, real estate conferences that were going on. I never do that. Never.
Yep. For anybody who is brand new, like I know there's some people on here who are just got their license 30 days from now, 60 days from now, 90 days from now. Just be aware of that. It's actually kind of fun. Be aware of that. It happens. So not only does it happen to us in real estate, and our ears perk up when we hear the words real estate or buying or selling or anything or investing, but that is true for all of the, by the way, anybody not in real estate, I call them the outside world. So like my husband, he's part of the outside world. Okay. So the entire outside world, they don't know what we do. They don't know how we do it. They don't know what we do. They have no idea we need their help. They don't know these things. So it's our job to educate them. It's our job to plant that seed. Okay. So Crystal, that was a huge success. You have to celebrate every little success like that. A success does not always mean, and it will not always mean, I have a closing, I have an appointment, I have a signature. A success is, I just told 10 people I'm in real estate. That's fantastic. That doubled 5 times a week by 4 weeks in a month with a routine and consistency. Notice this quote on the screen will absolutely lead you to the goal that you want. We do not decide the future, we decide the habits. Okay. So let's talk about habits. By the way, any questions regarding that activity? Any concerns regarding the activity? I did put my contact information in the chat box. If anybody on here sat there and was totally frozen, right? If you have a coach at your Mark Center, please reach out to them tomorrow to get you unfrozen. If you don't, you're welcome to shoot me a text, and I am more than happy to spend 2-3 minutes to get you to rip off that Band-Aid with you. I promise you, this is coming from working with over 500 agents. Nothing bad will happen. Promise. Okay. All right. So let's talk about building habits. Now, this is an example of a highly successful agent's day. Now, some of you are looking at this going, but that's not possible. I work a full-time job. I'm a teacher. I'm a mechanic. I'm an engineer. I work for the government, whatever the job is. This example is to see what should go in your calendar, not so much the times. Now, if you're sitting on here and you do not have a full-time job other than real estate, and you do have time in your day, this should be your schedule right here. This is your schedule. Don't reinvent the wheel. Okay. If you have a full-time job, then what you need to do is look at your calendar. Okay, when am I going to do the lead generation activities? Every day, not one day a week, every day, right? When am I going to practice writing contracts? When am I going to attend trainings? When am I, right? So you're asking yourself these questions. Actually, I want to go back to that a second. I want to ask this question because this is, I will tell you, for about 80% of the agents who get into this business, if not more, I'm kind of making a rounding it off. About 80% of the agents who, when they come into this business, the biggest thing they struggle with, besides lead generating, meaning having connections, is time management. Right now, there is going to be a session in Ignite talking all about time management, but I want to give you guys, I'm all about activities, right? So you got the activity of the big why to do by Sunday. You have the activity about getting your people from your phone into your database, or at least reaching out to someone in your Mark Center to help you do that. The third activity I'd like to all provide you with right now. Now, this activity you have until Sunday. So again, it's only Tuesday. Okay. Is to, if you don't have a calendar, get one. You cannot be successful in real estate without a calendar. You will not hit your goal. Now, I know there's one agent. Let's see, what do we have now? We're at 28 agents. One of you out of these 28 agents is absolutely sitting there right now going, oh yeah, watch me. Haha, I'm going to be that person. I'm going to prove you wrong. And I know that because I was that person. I came into the business with 15 plus years of sales experience, never having owned a calendar, being the top salesperson in every job I've ever done. So I came in with a very big ego. I know how to do this. I'll be the best. I'll do it my way. There was a book written called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And Keller Williams, we call it the Red Book. If you don't have it, please go to your Mark Center and get a copy. This book is all about models. It's about foundations, right? If anybody were to go to build a house right now and you have no idea how to build a house, would you just randomly go and be like, well, I think I'll put the walls up first and then the roof, and then I'll pour the concrete for the foundation? No. You need to pour the concrete first, get the foundation solid, to then put up the walls and the roof. Yes, I did just use a house analogy in real estate right now in this training. Okay. So your foundation is following the best practice of what top agents for over 20 plus years have done to pave the pathway for success. Then when you get that down, You can add as many walls and roofs and make it a hexagon or whatever you want. You can get all creative. If you flip it and you get creative and then focus on foundation, it is an upside down triangle that will fall over and collapse. Again, I know this firsthand because I was that agent. I came in that way. I had to take a very big slice of humble pie, like the whole pie. I ate the whole humble pie. Sit there, listen to the coaches, listen to the trainings, and say, okay, if I actually want to make some money in this and set appointments, let me follow the model. Now, after a few years and being successful, oh, I added a ton of creativity on top of that. I added my flair on top of that. But it took me a good 3 years to get there. Okay. I say it to say, this week, go get a calendar or download a calendar or use Google Calendar. I don't care what kind of calendar you use. In your calendar, first, you're going to put in there what I call the non-negotiable times. Do you have a dentist appointment, family time, something with the kids? Do you have another job? Those hours. Put that in there first. Then look at the calendar just for next week and say, what are my real estate hours? Right? What are my real estate hours? Now we have Monday through Sunday. So what are your real estate hours during the week, during Monday through Sunday? And then plug those into the calendar. Then make that very specific. Don't just put real estate hours. What are you going to do? Is it Monday, I'm going to talk to 10 people. Tuesday, I'm going to attend Ignite. Okay. Et cetera, et cetera. Saturday, I'm going to talk to 20 people. Or maybe I'm going to go to a networking event. Or maybe I'm going, again, putting something very specific in there. Maybe it's hosting an open house. That's a whole other class. Okay, so assignment 3, get a calendar, start plugging in when are your real estate hours and what are you going to do in those hours? Making sure that that prospecting time, lead generation, connecting with people, whatever you want to name it. I like to personally call it making money time. So in my calendar, when I was doing this, when I was an agent full-time, I'm now full-time coach. When I was an agent full-time, my calendar literally said making money. Because that's what lead gen is. It's making money because you cannot make it without it. Questions on that activity? No? Okay. So a 4-on-1, this is just breaking down your goals. One of the sessions in Ignite is going to talk more about this. But to start this, 4-on-1 stands for 1 annual, 1 monthly, 4 weeks. Most months are 4 weeks. That's why it breaks down to 4. So for example, if you say, okay, my annual goal, so if we just talk about 2023, because October 1st, by the way, is when I always say to every agent, Happy New Year. Does anybody know why? Anyone want to take a guess? Why do I say Happy New Year on October 1st to agents?
Is it the end of the fiscal year?
Not so much the end of the fiscal year, although it is in the government, or some government jobs.
Is it when like your I don't know if it's like your sales thing resets or something like that?
So
like your cap amount?
Everybody's cap amount is whenever they joined, right? So if somebody joined today, their cap amount would be whatever that next month is. Typically, every market center works different. It's actually, if everybody on this call lands a buyer in October, and now you all of a sudden you get the buyer pre-approved, now it's October 10th, then now you start showing houses, now it's October 15th, then you put in offers, blah, blah, blah. You may be lucky and have a closing by December, but most activity that we get in October closes in January. So in October, you're working on the new year. Agents who wait to focus on their goals till January are already in April. You missed 3 months. You're already 4 months behind in your goal setting or in your year. Okay. So the agent's like, well, I'll wait till next month. I'll wait till next month. I'll wait till next month. Every month is another 90 days out from that. Everything in real estate works in 90-day chunks. Now, don't get me wrong, you're going to all fall at one point. If you work really hard, you will all find that one magical cash buyer who wants to close on a vacant property in 2 weeks. It is a unicorn that we come across every few years. That is not reality in real estate. We are not HGTV. Sorry. Okay. Everybody's like, I love HGTV. So do I. We don't work in that. So everything you do is 90 days out. Just keep that in mind. So when we look at 4-in-1s, the very first thing is, what do you want your goal to be in 2023? Now your goal needs to be specific. Is it going to be how much money do you want to make? Right? The purpose of business is to fund a perfect life. Money is not a negative word. A lot of us, myself included, maybe grew up with that word being a very negative connotation. People don't talk about it. It's like this, ooh, don't talk about money. Money is not negative at all, because the good it can do for our families, for our life, for our future, for giving, for community, for whatever we want to use it for. So when you look at goals, how much money do I want to make? Or how many closings do I want to have? Right? Set a very specific goal, meaning there has to be a number behind it. Then breaks it down to monthly. So if you say, I want $100,000 in 2023, magical 6 figures. I hear that a lot. Then if you're an individual agent, I don't talk teams. A lot of agents, I've been on teams, off teams, great for both worlds. I don't talk teams because every team has different splits. So that's why I'm using this example as an individual. On average, it will take 2 closings a month, depending on your price point in your area. Okay. If you live in Howard County, it's less than 2 closings a month. On average, you'll need 2 closings a month for 12 months to hit $100,000. If you want some averages, okay? So if your annual goal is 100,000, then your monthly goal would be, okay, I want 2 closings. But here's the thing, your monthly goal, your closings are already set when the month hits. So you can't say closings. You actually need to focus on appointments and agreements signed. How many, if you want 2 closings, you actually need 3 under contract, because not everything closes. Things fall through. You'll need, depending on if you're working with buyers or sellers, a little variation of both. I'm just going to use some averages right now. Okay. Approximately 5 agreements signed. I use the number 6 because I like even numbers, not odd numbers. That's just me. So I'll use 6. Okay. Which means as a newer agent, while you're learning your craft, you're perfecting your closing tactics and skills through these classes and through trainings you're going to go through and just practice. Probably about, I'll say, let's see, what did I just say? 6. So I'm going to say probably about 12 appointments. Okay. So that's 3 appointments per week. I'm just giving you some average numbers right now. So when you look at your goals, it's really important to, number 1, have one. If not, you're hanging out at sea with no destination. You need to know your destination. And by the way, there's no wrong goal because it's yours. Now, if you tell me you only want 1 closing in the entire year, I'm going to, as a coach, probably challenge you to be like, really? What would happen if you did 4 or 5 or 6? What would that do for life? Right? Instead of 10,000, why not 60,000 extra? So as you're going through Ignite, if you don't have your goals set yet, please just sit down and really figure that out. Right? What do you want that to be for yourself? And then wherever market center you are with, whoever you go to at that market center, whether it is your coach, whether it is an accountability partner, whether you're on a team, or even a significant other or a good friend, Share that goal with somebody. Share that goal. Tell somebody your goal. 80-20 principle. 20% of your efforts lead to 80% of your results if you're focused on the right efforts. Okay. Again, I use agent A and B as the examples. Agent B, who had one closing in their, now don't get me wrong, they're 3 years in the business and they are fantastic now. It took them 3 years to get there, but they are on track to close about 36 this year. Okay. They just had a really rocky start. So 20% of the effort is focusing on what's going to produce the results you want. So when you look at your calendar and you're blocking things out, if you look at it and say, is what's on my calendar, can that lead to an appointment? Can that lead to a potential future appointment, a future maybe buyer, future maybe seller? Can that lead to building my pipeline of people? If the answer is no, your calendar is not set up properly, you need to change it. Okay. So agent B, who had one closing their first year, focused a lot of attention on making the best business cards and website, mastering the contract. Well, guess what? He only wrote one in his entire first year. Okay. He spent too much time on what doesn't produce the results he wanted. So what's the big rock as an agent? You heard me talk now for a while. What is our biggest rock as an agent? What is the one thing that must be done every week as an agent?
Lead generation.
Yes. And what is lead generation?
Talking to people.
That's it right there. Talking to people. Talking to people. Right. We have a bunch of agents here at our Market Center who they got together as a group. Like they're all individual agents who came together and they go door knocking 3 times a week. Right. We have another number of agents who they come together at 9 a.m. and start making calls together.
Can we join those group?
Oh, I know who that is. Reach out to us. We can get you connected with them.
At least to,
So-
yeah, at least to know how to do that.
Yep. Just shoot. That's Teresa, right?
Yes.
Hey, Teresa, just shoot me or Rachel a message and we can get you connected and get you involved in that, right?
Okay.
So it's all about connecting with people in our phone, in our social media, anywhere and everywhere. Okay. And then finding an accountability partner. Now that could be a fellow agent, that could be a friend or family, that could be a coach. It's somebody who will not let you off the hook. Let me repeat that. It's somebody who's not going to let you off the hook. Meaning if you have an accountability partner and you're like, yeah, I didn't lead gen today. Oh, I know. I just woke up late and, my cat got sick this morning and it was raining. And your accountability partner says to you, oh my God, I know, right? Oh my gosh, your cat okay? I'm so sorry. Well, hopefully tomorrow. Please dump them. They can be your friend. You can go do things together. They're not your accountability partner. Your accountability partner say, okay, well, it's 4 o'clock now. You still have until 8 o'clock tonight. What are you gonna do? Your cat okay, by the way? Cool. What are you gonna do? I'm not letting you off the hook. You said that you have goals. You said that you have a big why. I'm not letting you off the hook. What are you doing today? Can you call 5 people right now? Can you mass text? Can you text a bunch of people right now? Okay, so find that accountability partner who will not let you off the hook on your goals. So I'm going to end with this story and then I'm going to get some ahas. when I first started, I mentioned I was an inside sales associate. So I was a lead gen machine. That's what I call myself. I sat there, I dialed 300 to 500 numbers a day. Yep, 300 to 500 numbers. Spoke to about 30 to 40 people per day, set about 8 to 10 appointments per week. I took a very huge pay cut to get into real estate. Very huge pay cut to get into real estate. Knowing that getting in real estate, you start real estate at zero, right? And my husband knew if I set X number, so I shared my goals, and he knew if I set X number of appointments, that should and would lead to the monetary goal that we need to get back up to. So any day, if I was about to come home and text him, say, hey, I'm on my way home, which for me was like a 45-minute drive. Any day I was texting him, okay, I'm on my way home now. He would text back, did you set your 2 appointments today? And if I text no, or well, I got the one, and then there was that one person, you see, who it was a good conversation. He would say, when you get in the house, you're back on the phones, you need that other appointment you have till 8 o'clock tonight. I'll order pizza. We had a lot of pizza, by the way. Okay. Now, did I absolutely curse his name and hate him at times? 100% yes. But what was the outcome? What happened? What do you think?
You succeeded.
Succeeded. Surpassed the goal. Don't get me wrong. I told you all I failed in the beginning till I practiced and got off my high horse and followed the models, right? So please set your goal. Take out a calendar, get a calendar, put your blocks of time in there with what you're going to do, making sure those blocks of time say lead generation, prospecting, connecting with people. Super easy. If you're like, who do I talk to? Alphabetize. Start with your A's. Don't overthink it. I'm going to start with my A's and I'm going to work to my Z's. Right here on my phone. Then after I'm done my phone, I'll move over to Instagram. Then after I'm done with Instagram, I'll move myself over to Facebook. Okay. Don't overthink it. Okay. All right. Who can recap your assignments you have?
Sit down and you write out your big why.
Yes. Hey, Tyler. All right. Write out your big why. What else?
Get a calendar to write down your prospecting hours and your activities.
Yes. Get a calendar, time block, your prospecting hours, your activities you're going to be doing for real estate. Absolutely. What else?
Put contacts in your database in the next 7 days.
Get your database built. Put the people in there. You can clean up along the way. You're gonna, as you're calling them, you can add things, you can delete things, you can clean it. But get it built, meaning get it in there. Whether you have a market center that can help you with that, whether you have a teenager you can throw $50 to do it for you. Doesn't matter how you do it. Get them into a system. Because then you're going to learn that once you get them in the system, there's things you can leverage in a system. So there's auto emails, auto text, auto things where the system can do some of the lifting for us, especially if we work another job. It's a lifesaver. It's like having a personal assistant, but you can't do any of that without people in it. Okay. And there's one more thing. What else?
Create a vision board.
Yeah, so with your, okay, yeah, so with your why, create some sort of visual around that. Absolutely. Have it hanging in your eyesight. Right? Or have it pop up on your phone every day as a reminder. Set your goal. Now, here's the thing. You might just want to start, if you're brand new, your goal could be, I want to have one closing by December, by the holidays. That could be your goal right now, right? And then you can reset your goal and say, okay, what do I want? What do I want for next year? Right? Your goals are going to change. Your why is going to change. That's okay, but you need to have something to start with. Again, you need to have foundation. All right. Told you, a lot of stuff in 2 hours.
Thank
2
you
hours
so
and 8
much.
minutes. I want to hear from 2 people right now, and anybody who else who wants to throw in the chat, that'll be awesome. What is something you're walking away with? Not just the assignments, but like, what's an aha? By the way, aha in our real estate world stands for agents helping agents.
Previewing properties,
Previewing properties. Yeah, I know the market. I love that.
not the market, yes. Very
Yes.
important.
I love that. Oh, Ebony in the chat writing 411. Absolutely. Absolutely. Get your goals down. Be specific with it. Let's hear one more.
I'm just walking away with motivation.
Motivation to do what? What kind of motivation?
I don't know. I mean, I'm brand new. I just passed my test a month ago. So it's just motivation to really like just get started.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Rip off the Band-Aid, get started. For those of you coming from a 9-to-5 type job, where typically in those environments, you go in, they train you, and then you do the job. Real estate is the opposite. And you have to take off that hat we've known for so many years and say, let me get out of my box. Let me just be okay with this, and it will be okay. Real estate, you actually have to do and learn at the exact same time. To share an example of that, we have an agent who joined us last year. She jumped right in to start doing. And she had 5 closings in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Well, under contracts, not everything closed in 6 weeks. Okay. 5 under contract in 6 weeks. She didn't know how to write contracts. She had coaches to help her with that. She had a team to help her with that, not team, like coaching team here, right? So don't be afraid of the yes. Don't wait to know everything. Just start taking action. Okay. Nothing bad will happen. All right, guys, have an amazing night. Don't forget, tomorrow night, same time, same Zoom link, different instructor. Have an amazing Ignite session and go through all of them and take action.
Thank you.